Hi guys, it is mid-July and the garden, as you can see, is growing beautifully right now. We've had a lot of wins, we've had a few losses, but overall very happy with the progress that we've made so far for 2025. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the highlights of what's growing in my garden, as well as plant a few more seeds and harvest some stuff. I've got quite a bit to harvest, I believe. I would like to welcome you to my backyard Kentucky homestead. My name is Kim. And let's get started before the sun is fully up and it's 100 degrees with 100% humidity. Holy moly. Let's get going. So over here we have our yellow squash bed, which holy mackerel guys, look how beautiful this is. I had some squash bugs that I've tried to stay ahead of so far. Oops. There's some eggs there. It's funny because everybody says they grow on the underside, which I do see that some, but most of mine end up on top. Anyway, yellow squash is doing absolutely gorgeous, just trying to stay ahead of the squash bugs. We have our sunset runner and scarlet runner beans, which are doing beautifully. They've set quite a lot of fruit. We've also got some over on that trellis over there. In this bed we have our zucchini, so we have Dunja as well as Bossa Nova. And we do have a Bossa Nova down there. It's just a little bit too small to pick yet, but I think we've got, and this damage here I actually did using off spray too close to the plant. So off deep woods will kill your plants as well as keep the bugs away. So while it's a pesticide, it actually works as an herbicide as well. Yeah. I think we've got one, yeah, we've got a very odd shaped zucchini. Let's see. Yep, there we go. More zucchini bread. So the zucchini and the summer squash have been doing beautifully. I've actually had enough that I was able to make zucchini bread this week, which was so good. It was delicious. If you haven't watched that video, check that one out. It is an amazing recipe, and if you've got extra zucchini, you definitely want to make it, and it freezes perfectly. You could put it in the freezer for like 3 months. Easily take it out when you want some zucchini bread a few months from now. I'm gonna make some more today probably, so it's well worth it. Over here I've replanted, I took the onions out. This was where the Egyptian walking onions were, and I've taken those corms or the little bulbs and replanted those. Hopefully I did that right. Over here we have a pumpkin, which I honestly no idea now what it is, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Look how beautiful that is. Over here we've got some black turtle beans, which should be blooming very soon. We have a lot of cleanup to do throughout the garden as well. It's been so hot, we're just basically doing what we need to do. We have some astilbe or agasaki that we started from seed. There's 2 different kinds in there. And back there we have some eucalyptus, which is growing, and that is an indigo agasaki, which should be hardy to the zone. So I want to transplant that into the ground come fall. This is a bed that we're going to be planting up today. We have a heritage raspberry here, just putting on some flowers. Over here we have a couple of beautiful things. We have our lysianthus flowers, and then we also have the clematis. So those are doing beautifully. If you guys have an idea how to make these stand up straight, let me know. Mine always fall over and start bending. So not the end of the world. They're still absolutely gorgeous. Over here we have 3 grapes. The one in the sun is not doing super great, but it's hanging in there so far. We've got blueberries. We still need to get the trellis set up for the grapes. We'll get that here probably once it cools down a little bit, and then we'll be able to get those trellised up. We have some straw flowers growing there, some blueberries, some more blueberries here, and we have some more blueberries there. These are in 5-gallon pots. I'm going to be transplanting those into larger pots this fall once they go dormant. Another big blueberry plant. And this one's really exciting. This is a combination of honey nut squash and butternut squashes, and I've got them growing up the vine. So they've actually got quite a bit of some fruit on them already. Have some Desperado green beans planted here, which hopefully they will have. Yep, so there's a little squash there. There's a bigger one there, and there are bees all over this. So a lot of flowers. Hopefully we'll get a lot more fruit. We have some more squash planted there. Have some of our alliums. This is the second trellis of the Scarlet Runner and Sunset Runner beans. I planted these much later. They don't have beans on them. Oh, yeah, they do. We do have some beans down here on the lower part, but they're still growing. And then we have another squash here. I'm not seeing any fruit yet. This is a lot younger, but we do have some fruit starting right here. This is our batwing pumpkin, which so far is looking really, really good. I do need to move these blueberries away so it has more space to spill over. We have a moon and stars pumpkin, which the slugs did not kill, or the birds. We have some carrots there, some celery and basil. It doesn't look like our carrots that we did. The bolero carrots really didn't germinate. I might try that once more, and then I might be done with that for this year. We have some sunspot and teddy bear sunflowers. These are the short miniature ones. These are, I think, spot on sunflower. And then this is the teddy bear sunflower. Absolutely beautiful. So my center trellis project is kind of like a hit and a miss. The Job's Tears are doing well. We've actually got little bead pods growing. This is Love and a Puff. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is, the Job's Tears and the Love and a Puff have done really well here. And most of the other stuff, not so much. But this is the first year I've had this, so we're learning. This is also not on drip yet. Hopefully that is snail vine, because if it's not, it's poison ivy, and that would just suck. So hopefully that's snail vine. But here's another of the Love and a Puff. Absolutely so dainty and beautiful. This one's doing really well too. We have some zinnias within the disastrous inner garden. We also have some ground cherries. So this is the first year I've ever grown those, so it's be interesting. And then there's a dahlia in here as well. We have some lemonade cosmos growing. And this is the Tamarillo. This is sort of like the ground cherry, sort of, from this description of it. It's growing straight up. It's an interesting growth habit. But it has flowers on the top, so we should see some fruit soon. Here's a little closer look at the orchard baby corn. This is going to be a miniature corn, and the ears are only about 5 inches long. Back side of the yellow squash bed. Absolutely gorgeous. We do maybe have some powdery mildew starting, so we need to keep an eye on that. We have a whole bunch of beautiful snapdragons. Our alliums are flowering. And this is a bed that has a lot of determinate tomatoes in it. So you got Romas and Roma Supremo, a whole bunch of them. Napoli. There's a whole lot of gorgeous going on over there. We'll swing around there in a second. But having everything on drip irrigation has made it so much easier to deal with. Highly recommend that. This is part of our pumpkins. I think this is part of the baby bear pumpkin. I planted some of the Rudbeckia over here that had been in a rectangle container, so we added that to the garden. In here we have a variety of different zinnias and squash. Another determinate tomato plant that is just absolutely loaded with them. Keep checking the bottoms of them. I have had issues, especially in the containers, with blossom end rot, just because of inconsistent watering. We've not had any rain for about 3 weeks, so it makes it a lot harder. Maybe 4 weeks. There's another one. Oops. Got some ripening starting to happen in there. And this is one of the things that we're going to be harvesting. Is my leaning tower. I've got 2 leaning towers of tomatoes. They are just going crazy. I have not pruned them back, and this one is just loaded, and they are, I don't know what it is. It's a yellow orange tomato. absolutely delicious tomato. But in this pile of pumpkin, we have baby bear pumpkins. Over in this bed, we have a little Jackby Little pumpkins. We have a Valenciano white pumpkin, a baby boo pumpkin, and maybe one or two others because I didn't think that the Jackby Little was going to come up, but it did. So we've just got a lot of pumpkin vine going on here, and I really want to protect this from the vine borer, so we're going to spray this with BT again. Also on the far side of the house, we've got more pumpkins over there, so we're going to spray that as well. Yeah, this one is just, it's massive. We have one of our bush our dwarf Stony Brook tomatoes. It's not actually doing much for I don't actually see any tomatoes on it. That one's been kind of a disappointment. Have some more zinnias here. Well, sun's just now coming up. We have some dahlias and we have some more of the lisianthus. We have celosia. It's absolutely beautiful. These black-eyed peas are just taking over. There's more lisianthus back there. There's some caladium, some more of the allium. Pumpkins are coming through here. We've got some Munstead lavender, several pots of that we started from seed. Some more lisianthus, which are just beautiful. The caladium finally came up. Some coneflowers. And this is the other side of the pumpkins, and we do have some stuff planted in here too, but I'm afraid these are going to get overrun by the pumpkins. So we'll have to see, but that baby bear pumpkin is wrapping all the way over here. We got some more lisianthus, some more, that's actually a bumblebee. Got some more Rebecca. Started those from seed as well. Oh, there's a pumpkin in the lavender. So we got lavender here, and then we got a baby bear pumpkin. The stilbea was beautiful this spring, and it's doing well. We've got the yellow dogwood over here. This is some white agastaki. Just starting to bloom. This is a perennial in my area, so we'll get this planted out in the yard. This is Rebecca and a red dogwood. This is in the ground, and then there's a stilbea down there in a pot that we'll need to get into the ground too before fall. Have hollyhock here, which looks like it's going to seed. Some coreopsis. Some beautiful. So I've got pink hollyhock and also white hollyhock. This one's almost done, but the Japanese beetles are eating the crap out of the leaves, but absolutely gorgeous flowers. This is a coreopsis. I'm going to try to save these seeds. Actually, I need to do that. Try to save those seeds. When we come back to our wall of tomatoes, and we've got a bunch of cleanup still to do. Been working on getting this back flower bed. I will have a full tour on this. It's actually looking fantastic, but it's taken a lot of hours to get that expanded because I've more than doubled some of it, and it's a whole lot of work going on there. But our tomatoes, for the most part, are doing beautifully. We still have some green beans growing. I have lost the battle with trying to prune these, so I'm just letting them go crazy, trying to get what we can off of it. I am trying to keep the bottoms, though, as open as possible for air circulation. We have some antique rose stock. It's gorgeous. Here we have some more of the Job's Tears, and then we also have the cypress vine, which is growing up and away. So hopefully that'll bloom soon. These two tomatoes are not doing, this one, brown sugar, I had to pull already. This is the pink oxheart, and it is not doing well. I'm trying to let these ripen. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick these today. They are far enough to where they will finish ripening inside. But these two are not doing well. The Rebel Starfighter Prime, though, I thought this was a cherry tomato, but these tomatoes are absolutely like, that's massive. That is a massive potato, but they're gorgeous. And they are the heart shape, so they're the right shape, and they're striped. So far, so good. I'm hoping that one stays safe where it's next to these two. This one is doing incredibly well, but it is a horrible tomato. It's Candyland, and it is not one I would recommend. It has a really, really thick, hard, tough skin, and the taste is meh. So this one, I may just pull to get it out of the way, because it is not a pleasure to eat that one. It's pretty gross. It has some chocolate striped tomatoes. This one is doing really, really well. This one, growing right beside it, same thing, not so much. It's finally got a flower on it, but it's weird. It's growing strange. But they were started at the same time. They actually had been growing together until I transplanted them into these larger containers. But this one's just not doing anything. Well, that one is huge, and it's got a lot of tomatoes on it. So doing well. This is our Red Hawk's heart, which is going huge. But the one problem that I've got with these really big tomatoes is that you get one tomato. That's all it's got on it. It's got a few. Of course, we've had incredibly hot weather, so it doesn't have a lot of flowers because they probably all dropped off. But super fantastic. It's pretty fantastic. Again, it's only got two. I think the one down that way has a few more. So this is Matt's Wild Cherry, and while it looks like Candyland, this one is delicious. And it is also loaded with fruit that we can go ahead and pick today. So we'll get that one done. Our peppers are doing very, very well. These are the Doda Spania, and we actually have a couple that we're going to go ahead and pick today. I'm going to grab some of those so that they'll make more peppers. So this is our sweet potato. And then we have two more containers of sweet potatoes. So those will just go until fall when it actually gets to frost. These are the Jedi jalapenos, which are loaded again. Holy mackerel. Look at all those. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. This is that Candyland. I'm going to take that out to give the peppers more space. But this is just freaking loaded with jalapenos, and they're really good ones too. Over here we have Anaheim chilies, which, yeah, we're doing really good there too. Might pick some of those. These are the giant Marconi peppers. It's an Italian sweet pepper. Looks like we got a few that we could pick there. But overall, they're just doing beautifully. Here's our bell peppers. These are Yellow Monsters and King of the North. Not as many peppers on these as I would have hoped, but what we do have is doing very nicely. Had a little bit of bug damage on these. Never had that before. I did put slug bait out, so hopefully that took care of it. But yeah, they're doing well. So let's take a quick trip to the far side of the yard. We've got a lot of pumpkins and other stuff growing. And then we'll come back and harvest some stuff. So let's time warp over there and we'll be right back. So this is the bed where I had the purple Viking potatoes, which I'll have a video on that very shortly. I want to go ahead and get this replanted. I did add some more compost to this as well as fertilizer. So I did add hollytone to this as well as bone meal. I have Jabai Shimo Shirazu. It's a cucumber from Japan, sweet taste, deep green fruit, 7 to 8 inches long, adapted to high temperature, humidity, and are disease and powdery mildew resistant. So we're going to try to get some of that planted, as well as Suyo Long, which is also a good one for heat. So let's put some crookneck squash here. I'm going to go ahead and do tags. So these are 65-day maturity, 5 to 10-day germination, full sun, 1/2 inch deep. So I'm going to plant from 2024. Let's do 4 of them. And I'm going to go ahead and just snap off the tip of it. It helps it get moisture inside the seed so that it will germinate faster. And we'll just put these in this area. I'm going to put a little space in between them because I would like to keep all of them. Okay, so this quadrant is for crookneck squash, which is actually supposed to be one that is more one that squash vine board do not like as much. It tends to have, apparently what I've heard, it has a longer viability. They like the zucchinis better and the straight neck squash. So I got these at Hobby Lobby 2 years ago on clearance at the end of the season. Let's do it then. So we're not squishing the drip irrigation. Here's what that looks like. So let's put this, our little sign here, and then we're going to put these in about 1/2 inch. And then what I'm going to do is on this back edge here, I'm going to put some okra. So those are the okra seeds. They are 50 to 60 day maturity, 7 to 14 day germination. And I need to plant them at 1/2 inch deep. And we're going to do, this is from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, Suyo Long. 5 to 10 day germination, 1/2 to 3/4 inch deep, 6 to 12 inches spacing, 61 days to harvest. So it looks like we've actually got another zucchini in here. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. It's taking up space. We don't like it. And that'll give me 3 spots here. I can put some other stuff in. So we're going to go ahead and take this out. Like I said, it is just a terrible tomato. That makes me so sad because that was probably one of the most prolific tomatoes, but it was a terrible, terrible tomato. It was not pleasant to eat. It didn't taste good. It didn't have good texture. Just would not recommend Candyland ever. And I'm going to go ahead and harvest these pink Oxheart tomatoes. And pull that plant out completely as well. So the Rebel Starfighter Prime will get a lot more sun now. And then I'll come back, make up my mind on what I want to put here because that's really good real estate. Yeah, I wanted to plant some lettuce and some cilantro. Maybe we'll put that back here. That's a good idea. I think. Got a couple of black cherry. Now these are huge. These are a different type of black cherry I think than I had last year. They're a lot bigger, but we got a couple that are close to being ready, so we're going to go ahead and pick those. Hi guys, so it is the next day. It was getting so hot yesterday, the cameras were shutting down, so we had to go ahead and stop recording anyway. Did continue working in the yard, got a lot done, and we actually got some rain last night. So I just wanted to provide a couple more updates and then I'll share the harvest with you. We got actually quite a bit of stuff, a little bit more to pick today. So the GreenStalk project, the 30 tomatoes in the GreenStalk worked pretty well. The 2 to 3 foot tomatoes, a lot of them are getting bigger and they are far too big for the GreenStalk. The micro tomatoes, which are down below, they're doing really well, but these bigger ones, not so good. I've actually taken 5 of these out. I did that after the camera shut off yesterday. I took 5 tomatoes out and moved them over into the areas where the pink oxheart had been, the Candyland had been, and the brown sugar. So I took 3 of them over there. Hopefully they'll root well, and then I put 2 of them over on the side where that trellis is. Overall, it's doing well. I've got quite a bit of tomatoes, but we do have some dieback going on, which isn't surprising given how overly crowded they were. But anything that's over a foot is going to be too big for the GreenStalk. I had a lot of problem with it drying out, a lot of blossom end rot, because of just there's not enough soil here to keep those tomatoes happy. So if I do tomatoes in the GreenStalk again next year, they're only going to be the micro tomatoes that are about 1 foot to 1.5 foot tall at the most. This tomato here is actually coming from this pocket, and I've done that with all of them. This one's coming up here now. So these that you see at the top are actually mostly from the second layer. So the same thing is happening with the tomato or the salsa GreenStalk. The bigger tomatoes, which I didn't know what these were because I had pulled the labels for the other GreenStalk. So this one's really cool though. It's got the purple shoulders on it. So that's going to be really pretty once it's ripe. But they're so heavy and they're so big that even with these supports, it's just not enough. So what I'm going to do today is go ahead and pull these onions, which are actually bulbing. I was completely shocked. They could actually wait longer, but I really want the space for the tomatoes. I want to be able to trellis this one up to this pocket so that it's not so heavy and hanging down so low. So let's go ahead and get the onions pulled out, and then we'll get this one trellised up. And this is where I had planted all these little onions really, really close to each other. Really late. So that's actually not bad. I mean, I'm shocked. I had actually started trellising the one below up here, but I want to get the onions out so that we're not impeding the tomatoes. And they are the necks are starting to soften on them. Got a red one. So these onions are the ones that I had started. They were old seed, and I just put them in a big container and just wanted to see what I could possibly get. So very, very, pull back here a little bit. So very, very gently, I'm gonna, and one below it. So I'm gonna raise that up. Put this down here. So I'm just putting the stake in the pocket above it, going straight down. So that one's elevated a little bit. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with this one. Let's see where we can put it. Might actually, yeah. So for this one, so for this plant down here, I'm going to head and just hook it into the one that's already there. Actually, it's not doing anything for that one up there, so let's go ahead and move it so it's straight and we're not as close to the other one. There we go. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better. Looks like we do have some damage on this one, probably from the Japanese beetles. Something's eaten. I've never seen anything eat a tomato plant before. But I'm gonna go through and clean this up, and then we'll get more light down here to the peppers because they're kind of underperforming. They've been so overgrown by these tomatoes that they just aren't. Wow. Yeah, it's more of a, they're just, this is just huge. I may try moving a couple more. That is so heavy with fruit though. Let's go ahead and pull these onions and see if we can put it up to the top. These tomatoes are just too big for the GreenStalk. It's not great. Maybe it'll work a little bit. But holy cow. Look, this is not a 3-foot tomato. That's like a 5-foot tomato. I'm gonna pull this one out totally. We'll do that after. And see if we transplant this one here somewhere else, if it'll do better. Because right now it does not have a single tomato. It's got one little flower on it. So it's not worth the hassle of trying to pin it up. But it'll give us, again, more, hopefully some more light on our peppers. I'll let you know what we end up doing. I've got to figure this out because these are so overgrown. There's a lot of production going on. It's just not quite working because they're just too big. So let's see what else we can do with it. So the strawberries are taking a beating from the cucumber beetles, but we actually still have quite a bit of production going on. So we're gonna go ahead and harvest some strawberries, and then I'm gonna work later on with getting some of these diseased leaves trimmed off. We don't wanna do too much because we wanna make sure that they still have plenty of sunlight, photosynthesis going on. But I do wanna get some of these really bad diseased leaves out. And hopefully the cucumber beetles will be, or the Japanese beetles will be gone soon. Also have some beautiful nasturtium. This is Alaska variegated nasturtium. They're holding in there, but they are definitely taking a beating. I've been using a cup with water and soap in it to knock them off, and I've got quite a bit, but they just multiply like crazy. It's beautiful. So it's not bad. We have been picking these almost daily, so it's not surprising. Let's go check the blackberries and see if there's anything left. The birds have been eating those. So these are black gem blackberries. So what I'm picking today are from last year's canes. They're secondary canes, so those will be done after they're finished blooming. These are the primal canes, so the first year canes, and they will have fruit on the end of them, which we'll pick later in August probably. Some critter has definitely been enjoying them. I gotta get the trellis, it broke. Gotta redo that here today probably. And what I may do is go ahead and cover some of these, some of them, so that we can get some more blackberries. All right, I think that's good. Yeah, spider web. Yeah. And they are a thornless blackberry, which is really, really nice. So we got some strawberries and some blackberries. So here is our harvest for the middle of July. We have our first poblano peppers. Really excited about that. We have some yellow monster, king of the north. This one's got a little bug damage, so we'll get that one used up today. We have some other bell peppers, some Anaheim chilies, some jalapenos, several zucchinis, some okra, lots of tomatoes, the onions that have been in the GreenStalks, strawberries, blackberries, a few green beans. They are loaded with blossoms, so we should get another round. And I've got green beans planted in 2 other containers right now, and we'll be planting some more here soon. A bunch of cucumbers, more cucumbers than I have ever probably grown in my life, which is awesome. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. If you want to check out more gardening videos, look at this one. And until the next time, happy gardening. I wish you a great day.